Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, bonjour, bonsoir à tous. Bienvenue au Forum de Wada. Welcome to this week's Wada Forum. We're very thrilled to have everyone here today and excited for another week of announcements and goings-on. Next. So today's forum will cover, of course, our general updates from the community. And we'll also talk a little bit about the proposals that WADA has submitted in Catalyst. And we'll go over some of the next steps for all of you who submitted proposals, as well as reminding everyone that we are offering this space for proposal showcases over the next couple of weeks. So we have shared a sign-up sheet, so please feel free to sign up so we can schedule you your own time slot to present on your proposal. But we'll talk more about that afterwards. Next. All right, excellent. So our statement of purpose, and Laurentine, I'm going to call on you for the French one today since you're here, but I'll go ahead and read the English side. Reminder of why we're all here. Our mission is to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future. Laurentine?
Yes.
Okay, wait, please,
Déclaration.
on the French side. Thank
Should I
you.
read it now?
Yes, please.
I should read it now. OK. Notre mission, promouvoir les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie et investir dans un avenir plus équitable.
Magnifique, merci beaucoup. So next we're going to hear from Adufwa, a little recap of our previous meeting for those of you who missed it.
Hello, everyone. So just a brief recap of what we discussed last week. So last week we said that the next stage for the Catalyst funding is going to be the review stage. And I think it started today. We also said that the deadline for submitting proposals for Singularity Net was on the 20th of May, which has passed. We also said that WADA has been chosen as a DREP educational provider, and that a series of DREP educational workshops will be held, and we will provide more details soon. And then in addition with that, there's a small grant that has been allocated for developing workshop materials, and further information will be shared. We also said that Catalyst working groups are ongoing, and so far they've been very engaging. Working groups have already been held in Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, Goma, and DRC. And on the 13th and 20th of June, WADA will be holding its online working group. There will also be a hybrid event in Cameroon on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. For Intersect, like we always say, it focuses on the human aspects of on-chain governance in Cardano. And then we are still encouraging members of our community to sign up for Intersect. We also said that membership fees for Intersect are still being finalized. And when that is done, we'll have a discussion as a network. So last week, Mercy provided a walkthrough on how to submit proposals on the deep funding platform. There were also questions about Singularity Net and the deep funding, which were addressed. And last week, we had Ubio come on to help us understand that to become an expert reviewer, you had to fill the form. And also, community reviewers can increase their voting power by commenting on existing projects on the deep funding platform. There was also a presentation by Bernard from the South Africa Johannesburg Hub, yes, in South Africa. He presented on his proposal in Fund 12, which is the Cardano Johannesburg Resource Center event. Thank you. Back to you, Megan.
Okay, perfect. And since we kind of did a really text heavy slide there, I'm not going to translate, but we'll be happy for feedback from our Francophone audience on, how included do you feel in these meetings. In terms of updates, last week we covered a lot, so Adufa kind of just ran through some of there's not a lot of new updates, I would say. Just a reminder on the Intersect MBO side that DREP education is starting. WADA will be hosting workshops. Well, let's say workshop or workshops to be determined on the exact date and the details, but we do plan to incorporate French translation into that. Bon, du côté Intersect, bon, il n'y a pas grand-chose à dire aujourd'hui en particulier, juste un rappel que nous avançons avec l'éducation DIREP. WADA a été sélectionné pour faire certains ateliers et nous allons incorporer du traduction française dans notre part d'atelier. Et les détails sont à venir. For the SingularityNet side of things, just again, a reminder, the review process is going to be starting soon. I highly suggest if anyone's interested in that, you check out the recording from last week where we had Ubio here actually walking through that process in a bit more detail. I'm not going to go over it today, but if you want more resources on that, please review the content from last week. Bon, du côté SingularityNet, il y a le processus de révision des propositions là-bas qui va commencer bientôt. Pour plus d'informations là-dessus, je vous conseille de consulter notre meeting de la semaine dernière où on a eu Ubio qui nous a présenté un peu plus en détail le processus. Voilà. Next, please. Okay, Samuel, do we have you coming in here?
Yes, Megan, let's take the opportunity to take us through a few of the important updates as far as the defunding round 4 it's concerned. A lot of this information was shared last week, but let's get some more updates on that. First, we look at the timelines for the processes. As we had last week, proposal submission ended on the 20th of May, and right after that, we're told the review processes were going to start. So we started a few days back. That's on the 20th. It's running through until the 10th of June at 12 UTC, as is displayed in your shot. And right after that, from 10th June to 17th June, will be the voting processes. A bit run through of what to expect. Last week, Obio said those who want to be expert reviewers, he was going to share a link with Mercy for you to fill a form and be an expert reviewer. As I speak, information I have is that that window is closed. Deadline for expert reviewership form is closed now. So there is no opportunity now, but I'm told if you still want to be an expert reviewer in this funding round, there's a way out. So if you are interested in that, kindly send your name and other important details to Edufwa on this call. Edufwa, you might want to put your contact in the chat for people to send you, and that information will be sent to Mercy, and it can be forwarded somewhere where your request can be considered. But that is to be done in a matter of maximum 48 hours from now, since the window is closed. But for the rest of us who are interested in just being community reviewers, what to expect is that just log on to the platform, and there are a lot of proposals that are available. As many as you can, just review them, give your comments underneath every proposal. And as we have stated, the best reviews are going to receive prizes. And on top of that, right after the window is closed and voting starts, your level of engagement on the review stage will enhance your status of voting. And by that, we refer to the fact that you will increase your amount of votes by a factor of 1, 2, 3. So already if you have, let's say, 5 votes, depending on your level of engagement per how many reviews that you do, it can be multiplied by 1, 2, or 3. So this is just a few information that we have to add to what we got from OBO last week. Megan.
Bon, comme tout est écrit à côté en français, je ne vais pas forcément tout traduire, mais je vous invite, si vous avez des questions, à soulever les mains ou écrire dans le chat et nous pouvons adresser vos questions. You can go ahead, Samuel. Okay, right. Next point. So next session, I mentioned that, a lot of you know, we've dedicated the month of May to proposal support, and, we finished submissions. So the next level of support is really helping with the outreach and letting people know about your proposals. So we'll talk a little bit about some of Wada Global's own proposals. We have 2 that we're going to go over today. And then we'll talk a little bit after this about, next steps and suggestions for all of you. But first, we will talk about one of our proposals in regards to the hub outreach and expansion. So I'll invite Samuel again up to tell us a little bit more about this one. You're on mute, Mr. Samuel.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Megan. And I was just saying that this proposal has been explained on the forum in previous meetings. It is one of the important proposals that Wada Global put forth. And when I say important, reference is to the fact that if we receive funding, we are going to do this hand in hand with the people on the ground. I refer to the hub leads and the volunteers that we have. It's all about expanding Cardano's reach in Africa, and we are interested in developing new hubs and onboard them. And this is on the back of a proposal that won funding in previous funding rounds, nurturing roots. And yes, we want to continue from here to expand Cardano's reach, as I've said. So this is the problem statement. We have realized that Cardano has not established itself in many strategic locations in Africa, and that's true. We think that Cardano still has, Africa is a large place, and Cardano needs to expand its frontiers. We need to carry the message across the length of Africa, and WADA being strategically positioned to take Cardano on its shoulders, because we are very much grounded on the African landscape. we thought that we also, as a key stakeholder in the ecosystem, have a duty to help Cardano expand its frontiers, and the reason we are embarking on this particular project. So what is the solution that we want to bring to this problem? We'll scale up existing outreach work by identifying strategic locations within Africa that Cardano has not yet been established. And we'll utilize a blend of events, promotions, workshops for about 500 plus engagements. And to go a bit into that, some of the proposals that, some of the countries that we are looking at on the bill, we put in the proposal has to do with South Africa, Rwanda, Nigeria, Kenya, and the rest of other countries. Like I said, if we win funding, we are going to consider a lot more countries and see where it's strategically located within the continent, and expand Cardano's reach. So yeah, this is the long and short about the proposal. But one thing is that we are going to work closely with the hub lead. You are on the ground. You are going to do a lot of the work, and Global will coordinate some of these activities. And so let's watch this space. Once we get funding, we'll be talking more about this particular project. Megan.
Okay. Now, bon, je vais un peu traduire quelques parties importantes. Je pense que vous pouvez lire le titre Problème et solutions, comme on a traduit ça. Mais en gros, cette proposition, c'est comme but de trouver plus de hubs sur le terrain en Afrique. Samuel a souligné le fait que nous voulons travailler avec les hubs existants, avec vous sur le terrain, nous sur le terrain, de voir où il y a des connexions pour les nouvelles opportunités, pour les nouveaux endroits. Alors, en fonction de financement, nous allons vous contacter avec la suite. Mais ce serait un de nos propositions importantes pour la croissance de Wada. Bon, je pense qu'on va ouvrir aux questions maintenant par rapport à cette proposition. Si vous avez des questions en français comme en anglais. Now we're just going to spend like a minute or two for any questions or feedback, if anyone has anything on this proposal before we go to the next one. And this is kind of the format that we want to give everyone else as well. So if you sign up to share your proposal, we'll give you a few minutes to present and then a few minutes for Q&A as well. But if we have no questions, perhaps we'll just go to the next one. It's a quiet group today.
Megan, are you taking this?
All right, sure. Yeah, I'll talk about this one. So this next proposal, we're putting in a collaboration effort with Andamio and Edify. So many of you may have heard of Andamio as the project-based learning platform for coming from Gimbal Labs. And Edify is a group we've been working with in the past that supports with business development, kind of like an accelerator type program. So the title, From Old to New, Leadership for Hubs as Self-Sustaining Web3 EdTech Providers. The problem we're really trying to address here is, like, all of our hubs have amazing content that they're producing, and we're working as Wada to like find a good channel to share that amongst the Wada network and also give everyone an outlet to share that more globally, but also to monetize that, right? Because to some extent, I think we're all doing this just to share the knowledge, but there's a big opportunity we see for actually helping each of you sustain yourselves as a hub, for us to sustain ourselves as a network by monetizing to some extent the content we create. So this proposal is really about leveraging what we have already and what everyone's already trying to do with content creation, plugging that into an Andamio or similar platform. Or like, I mean, not similar, but like customizing it, right? So that's sort of the whole point of Andamio, is it can be made into what you want it to be. And then also working with Edify to come up with a sustainable model for this to actually bring revenue back to the hubs and help to sustain us all. So that's a bit of an overview. I don't know.
Do the French translation as well.
Yeah, sure. Just take a breath if there was any.
That's quite hard, but try.
Bon, en gros, cette proposition, c'est par rapport à combiner ce que nous faisons déjà en termes de produits de contenu. Nous faisons déjà, bon, dans chaque hub, nous produisons beaucoup de contenus éducatifs, si c'est en Haskell ou en blockchain en général, etc. Mais il n'y a pas encore un bon endroit où mettre tout ça en place en même moment. Et il n'y a pas aussi une opportunité pour nous d'en profiter. Alors, cette proposition, c'est un peu combiner ces deux idées que nous avons déjà le contenu. Il faut mettre ça dans un endroit comme Andamio et travailler avec Edify pour une solution business, disons une façon de monétiser ce que nous produisons pour que ça peut apporter au hub et aider à la sous-soutenance des hubs. Alors voilà en gros ce qu'on propose ici. Et maintenant, c'est ouvert aux questions, si vous en avez ou de feedback. Okay, well, we can move right along in that case. So the next part of this is, in the past we've done like specific workshops on proposals, and something we always talk about after submission, a lot of people ask, is like, what do we do now? How do we get our proposals funded, etc. So here are some of our tips. We'll also open it up to any other suggestions that other people on the call may have, but now is the time. You've submitted it. You can't edit it anymore. Now it's all about spreading the word and getting people to vote for you. So different forms of publicity. There are different idea fests that will be coming up. We'll announce those as we have more specific information on it. But I did mention that that's something that we want to offer through this forum space. And not only are you presenting to the group who's here, but these meetings are also recorded and posted on YouTube. So that can be used also for yourselves afterwards, either to clip the video for just your part, or highlight maybe the timestamp if you want to share with people, things like that. So it would be a good opportunity, even if it's just to practice talking about your proposal. We want to offer that space to everyone to do so. in terms of other ways to get people to vote for you, it's, this is really a community thing. So engaging with other people's proposals makes them also interested to learn about your proposals, and also opens the door for different collaborations, which is really what Catalyst is all about. And finally, we talked a lot about how to be a reviewer. So it's too late to sign up, but if you have already signed up, definitely encourage you to get involved in the community review process. Is there anything else anyone thinks we should add to there? Anything that's worked in particular for you in the past?
Let's go to the next slide, and let's throw some more.
So you're going to talk a little bit more about it, right?
Megan, say that again.
And you'll talk us through a little bit more about these things, right?
Yeah, and more specifically on the community reviews. Today, the 23rd of May, this is the day where community review starts for L0 and L1 reviewers, and it's going to go through until June 6th. As you see on your shot, and right after June 6th, there will be a week break. That's from June 13 to June 20, and that will be the moderation period by the L2. And on June 24th, everything would have been done and data will be released. And by August, we are told that will be the time for community review rewards. The review period for L1 and L2, this is the stage now. So let's take a bit of time to go through that for people on the call who are reviewers. I know most of you have done this job quite for some time now, so you have all the experiences. Let's remind ourselves on what to expect or what to do. For those of you who are probably joining the reviewers community for the first time, it's key that you take critical look at some of the things that we want to say here, so that you don't work in vain. Because one thing is that if you do not conform to the do's and don'ts, the guidelines, in reference to the reviews, you might do all of them, and you may receive no rewards at the end of the day. So the level 1 and level 2 reviewers, you are reviewing the proposals, and you are going to review in 3 particular areas. You are talking about impact, you're talking about capability and visibility, and you're talking about value for money. So in terms of the impact, Cardano will want to know if the proposal that you are reviewing has any impact or otherwise on the Cardano ecosystem. So depending on the category of the proposal and the content of it, take your time, read through carefully. And if you think that the proposal has an impact on the Cardano ecosystem, just state it. And here again, let's remind ourselves that you are only using 150 characters to explain whether the proposal or the project has an impact or not on the Cardano ecosystem. Not 150 words, 150 characters, including spaces. So you have to be mindful of that. Then right after that, you come to the capability and feasibility. Do you think that the project as is being described or as it's been outlined is feasible? And here you have to check out carefully the milestones and the budget and everything, and particularly what has also been stated about the the team that is carrying out this project. Let's remember that in every proposal, team members and their expertise and their experiences have been clearly stated. So you have to go through these things, go through their capability and see, compare that with the milestones and the budgets that is being given, and review whether you think the team is capable to deliver the project, and also whether the project is feasible in terms of the milestones, especially the time, space, or the period that the proposal is supposed to last, and all those stuff. The last one is value for money. Do you think it is something worth the budget that has been allocated for it? Let's remind ourselves that in every proposal, budget for it has been stated and has been explained what each penny of that total amount is going to be used for. It is for you to also consider that and state in 150 characters whether you think the proposal has value for money. Let me state here that for Cardano community reviewers, you don't necessarily need to be an expert to review a particular proposal. Just read through the proposal, and whatever you think is welcome, your input is cherished. So however you understand it, if you think in a certain line in respect of these three areas that I've talked about, just state them. The only thing you have to be mindful of is the fact that you don't have to use any intemperate languages or strong words or swear words. You don't have to use insults and anything. Just state what you think, and you are good to go. And also, let's be mindful of the fact that you don't need to, I stated this some time ago, I'm stating it again. Don't use any AI tool to make the reviews and use that as your comment for the review. I've seen in the previous fund 11, I had the opportunity to be a milestone reviewer, and a lot of reviews did not go through because it was flagged as an AI influence review. So please don't use AI. They need your own human understanding. So like I said, just read carefully each and every proposal, and make sure you understand it and state what you think in terms of the areas that have been mentioned. For those who have just signed up, and for that reason you are on level 0, or even if you reviewed some in the previous round and you are still in level 0, you are going to be allocated with 30 proposals, 30 proposals to review this time round. And for those of you who are in L1, you're also going to have as many as 80 proposals to review within the time period that have been given. Last thing I want to mention before I forget, before you give any comments to any proposal, you have to rate it. There are 5 stars, each indicating how you're going to rate it. And usually you have to be careful that if you rate a proposal as say 5 stars, it means it's excellent. And in your comment, if you write anything that is contrary to how you have rated it, that also makes your proposal not valid. So you also have to be mindful of that, so that your reviews and your ratings align. That's exactly what I want to say. If people have questions, I'll pause here. They can come through with it. We'll try and answer. And if there are no questions, Megan, I don't know, I've said a lot. I don't know how you're going to translate in French.
can't translate everything, but I think there were some highlights that I can go over.
Yeah.
Et je vais souligner quelques points d'importants qu'il a mentionnés. Bon, en gros, il nous encourage à faire cet processus de community reviewer. Bon, comme mentionné avant, il faudra être inscrit. La période d'inscription est passée. Mais c'est très bénéfique, quoi. Pour ceux qui sont en train de le faire, n'oubliez pas que les commentaires sont donnés en caractères limités. Chaque caractère ne comporte que 150 caractères et il ne faut pas utiliser l'intelligence artificielle pour le faire, sinon votre feedback peut être rejeté et vous pouvez ne pas avoir de rewards. Pour les nouveaux, ça veut dire niveau L0. Il y a une limite de 30 propositions que vous pouvez review. Pour la prochaine étape, le L1, c'est plus élevé. Et il a aussi noté que il faut que votre note en termes d'étoiles est justifiée dans votre justification. Ce que vous écrivez doit correspondre au nombre des étoiles. Si vous donnez 5 étoiles, ça veut dire que c'est une proposition excellente. Et si maintenant vous mettez des critiques dans votre explication, ça peut rejeter votre review. Ah ouais, je pense que ce sont les points les plus importants qu'il a mentionnés. Mais si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à nous demander maintenant. Samuel a beaucoup d'expérience là-bas, étant reviewer. Et je crois qu'il y a d'autres dans le groupe-ci qui ont également de l'expérience.
Megan, are you done?
Yeah, now is really open for
Because I can't understand French. Sometimes when you are done, I don't even know. Sorry about that. Stella is asking in the chats the factors that result in reviews being excluded by moderators. Stella, this is the whole thing. After reviews are completed, in this particular case, let me be very specific, from the June 13 to June 20, the moderation period, one of the key duties or one of the key things that go into the moderation period is where milestone reviewers also sort of tend to review the reviews. So it's like, and this is my own coin, something, a review of the reviews. And here, what happens exactly is that, and this is actually performed by those in level 2. And here, what they do is that your reviews on the proposals are evaluated for adherence to guidelines. It is assessed whether, let's say, the quality of the feedback is assessed and necessary adjustments are made before data is released for final voting. So this is actually what goes in there. And some of the factors that you seek to know are a few things I already talked about. One, your reviews will be flagged as in when it is detected that it is AI generated. That is the first thing. And please, people on this call, take this very seriously. If it is flagged as AI generated, then the milestone reviewer is also asked to further check whether indeed it is AI generated or not. So the discretion is for them to also decide whether indeed your work is AI generated, and if they are convinced that it is AI, then that review, that particular review, will be filtered out. And two, another thing that is key is that they find out if you are not using any strong languages or you are not using any swear words. It's interesting that some people decide to use a lot of vulgar language, especially if they do not agree with the content of the proposal. They use strong words, and those ones are also not tolerated on the ecosystem, and a few other things. But these are the two key things that they look at. So just a matter of recapping what I just said. Just read through. You don't need to be an expert to review, and that is the good thing about Cardano and this whole review thing. Just your own understanding, how you think of the proposal, and you are good to go. And they also ask whether what you have said. Okay, let me give an example here. If you are talking about an impact the proposal has or otherwise on the Cardano ecosystem, and your views are not really about, your views are misleading, let me say. If it has impact and you state otherwise, if it has no impact and you state otherwise, that is also for the milestone reviewers or the L2 reviewers to also check and filter out or add it. So as we are saying, you don't need to be an expert to review that. You still have to make sure you read thoroughly the proposal in question and make sure you get it right in terms of the 3 areas that we have talked about. So yeah, these are a few things that I want to talk about. Thank you. If there are more questions, please, you can raise your hand and bring them, or maybe say in the chat, and we'll try to answer. Megan?
Okay, yeah, I think I just want to spend the last couple of minutes encouraging everyone to sign up. So we'll do the next 2 weeks. We'll have opportunities for you to present on your proposals. But then afterwards, it's getting a little bit busy with some other stuff we have going on in terms of the DREP education content, as well as the Catalyst working groups sessions. So I do encourage you, if you do have a proposal, to sign up and try to present on that sooner than later. Like I said, probably just the next 2 weeks that we'll be dedicating to that space. And there will, of course, be other opportunities, but it's always good to start first with, our family here who will support you and nurture you. It's a good kind of practice, or a good place to share your ideas and for us to all be aware of what each other is up to. So Richmond and Adufo were posting the link to how to sign up for a spot in the chat. It's just a Google form. I think we have a couple of people signed up already. Based on the number of people we sign up, we'll decide on the exact number of time that each person will get. We're aiming for approximately 5 minutes with time for Q&A, but it will also depend on the demand that we have. But
Megan, I want you to throw more light. I know you have experience in these things. Why is it necessary for somebody to showcase their proposal? What do they stand to benefit?
Oh, well, I mean, that's a good question. So like you're trying to get people to vote for you. You have, you want them to be aware about it. What's encouraging them to go and read your proposal? Like, what's encouraging a reviewer to go and choose your proposal to review? You want to be getting your name out there in the world, and doing these little videos is also helpful because you can be engaging in other settings. It could prompt you to have also interviews or Twitter spaces and things like that, where you can continue getting awareness of your proposal. So by doing something that's recorded, you can always, I like be posting links in the chat at town hall or in Telegram groups. When relevant topics come up, someone talks about something that is relevant to your proposal, you can just quickly send a note in the chat if you're in a meeting saying, oh, this is really interesting. Encourage you to check out my proposal. I'm working on this exact problem in Ghana. So it's just nice to have some content that's easy to share. So kind of the additional benefit other than engaging the people that you're talking to in the video is having that as something you can reference to help you guys continue to get engagement on the proposal.
Thank you very much. You said some of these things in previously, but I wanted you to throw more light so that people will know the benefits and so that they'll be able to fill the form and get the opportunity to showcase their proposals in subsequent forums. Last thing I want to say regarding the reviews is that 150 characters is approximately 25 to 30 words. So be mindful of that so that you don't go, you don't write more words and waste time. And yes, and another thing, if your number of characters are above 150, that will be fine. But if it is not up to 150 characters, automatically it is struck out. So be mindful of these things. And I've stated 150 characters is approximately 20 to 30 words. So bear in mind you are writing approximately 30 words for whether the project is impactful or not, whether it is feasible or the team behind it are capable or not, and whether it has value for money or not. Thank you very much, Megan. Take it from
Okay,
here.
so just to clarify, so it needs to be over 150 characters. It's not under 100.
It's not under. If it is under, automatically, as I said, it will be struck out. It means you didn't do it well. But if it is a little above 150 characters, that's fine.
Bon, il faut que je souligne ça en français parce que je n'avais pas compris ça quand il a mentionné avant. Ce n'est pas que le nombre de caractères est limité à 150. Ça, c'est plutôt le minimum de caractères qu'il faut mettre dans vos commentaires sur le processus de review en Catalyst. Alors, je voulais souligner ça parce que ce n'est pas ça que j'ai dit avant. Okay, thanks. I just had to clarify that because the way you had said it earlier, I had translated it differently. So I just make sure that I said that in French again.
That's good. Do we have some more questions? It looks like people are very quiet in the day. What's happening, guys?
I know, maybe everyone's
but I guess my good friend Lucas is on a call, and anytime Lucas comes, I want to put him on the spot. Lucas, do you have anything to say regarding some of these things? You're also a key player in the ecosystem. Any reactions to what we have said so far?
Hey everyone. Yeah, well, I'm making notes. Thanks for recapping things and making this friendly for everyone here. And I'm gonna look at the YouTube recording and share with. We have some team members at 45B that are going to be doing community reviews for the first time. And I was actually writing on the chat. Do you know if this is done on the IdeaScale platform or on another website?
Do you refer to the reviews?
the community reviews that we've been talking about, that where you give the ranking and you write a few characters, is this done on the Idea Scale website?
No, this is something that there is generally a guideline for it. I think the link was even shared yesterday on the town hall. We can look for it and maybe send you on a backstage so that you can share.
But
It has
you
all
know,
the rules as far as, or guidelines as regards this whole review processes, and it will be a good read if you can.
okay, Boaz is dropping it on the chat as well.
I think was has shared something on the chats. Is it related to what we are just talking about?
Yeah, this is guidelines.
Okay.
Yes, but my question is, what is the website that we log in to actually do the reviews?
The reviews, a couple of days or weeks back, it was open for people to register. It is still on
I
the.
registered on Idea Scale.
Okay, so Megan, give me the opportunity. Let me share my screen, and so you go to okay, one moment. I will share. Is my screen coming through?
I'm seeing a ChatGPT screen.
Wait a moment. Okay, so this is Idea Scale. Okay, so you log into, for instance, I want to log into somebody's that I have. Let's see how it goes. Internet issues, sorry.
No worries. But it's in this website that you put in the little stars and you write what you think of each proposal.
Say again.
It's in this website that you actually do the
Yes, so you log onto the Cardano ecosystem, sorry, the Cardano Idea Scale website, and you click on the login button, and you fill the form. Sorry, you put in your credentials. So internet is slow here. It is taking time to load, but this is actually the page that we are
Yes.
talking about. Okay, so once you log in, this is your profile. This is your profile icon. So you click on the profile icon and you click on this. It will take you straight to your profile details where you have all the allocations over here. Oh, the internet is slow, I'm sorry.
No problem.
But you scroll down here, you know this scroll button, you scroll down here where your level will be determined, and more so the allocations that you have, the allocations that have been allocated to you in terms of the proposal that you have will be displayed over there. So it's just a matter of
click down on the profile details, it will show.
Profile details?
The profile details.
Yep. Okay, so this is it. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
So when you come here, you will see this is the person's level, and these are the proposals that have been allocated to them. You see, from 12 allocations.
Got it.
Okay, so it has, since he's level 1, I think he has about 30, and they are all displayed here. So for instance, if I want to, or the person wants to review this, they can click on this, and once that is opened.
So Samuel, are you saying you get assigned proposals to review?
Yes, when you were filling the form to be a community reviewer, they ask you to choose the categories that you are interested in. So the categories that you choose, proposals in that respect are going to be allocated to you. So it's not just like you reviewing any proposal at all. It's been allocated. That is why you have to log into your profile, click on it like we have demonstrated now. And once you get there, you see all the allocated proposals. For instance, this person's proposals are here. And there's another thing that we even have to add after. It's amazing. My internet is
I
not
think the
opening.
whole website is slow because it's
Yeah,
loading.
the whole website is slow because I think it has just been loaded, so everybody is checking in to see their proposal. That's why. So one thing is that once you open a particular proposal and you make all the reviews, write the impact, the feasibility, and the everything, underneath you will see next. Guys, don't click on that next and review. If you click on the next, it will take you to a different proposal that is not allocated to you. So once you finish with that, you can safely close that window, come back to, assuming it had opened, where I'm going to review will be on this page. So at the bottom, after you finish filling the form for value for money, you will see next there. Don't click on that next. If you click on that next, it's possible you are going to review somebody's proposal. And please take note of this. You just have to close this window, come back to your own proposals that are allocated to you. For instance, if you started with the first one, then come and click on the second one and review that as well. And do that back to back until you finish all the proposals allocated to you. If you click on next, you might review a proposal that is not allocated to you, and that will be flagged out of. It means you didn't review those that are allocated to you. I don't know if that is clear.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the long and short of it. But Lucas, we can just get off on the sidelines and talk more about these things when I think we have more stable connection where we can see.
But yeah, it's really slow for me as well here in Portugal. And thank you for the orientation because it was something that I wasn't sure what portal I actually did the review on and how it was, how I found the right places to click. And I'm going to share this with my colleagues at 45B and let us know if we can help somewhere, somehow. Okay.
That's okay. Let's talk about it anytime. Megan, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, that's our time for today. So I think that we got some good content in. I hope everyone feels like their questions were addressed. Please come next time with your questions if you have any, and with your proposals. And we really look forward to having this space again together next week. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.